my friend. Welcome to the Josh and Ashlee Show, the last one of 2022. Can you believe it? The year's almost over. Today, we are going to recap 2022. We're going to focus on Decree 2023, share some life lessons that'll help make you more money, help your entrepreneurial family get into momentum, which is what we really want. I'm joined by my high school sweetheart, Ashlee Latimer, the one and the only. Babe, how you doing over there?
I am doing great. I'm a little chilly, but I'm wearing my party dress because I'm here for the New Year's Eve.
It gets cold in Texas. Can you believe it? I thought Texas was just a roasty, toasty place. That's a lie. That's fake news. It was 19 degrees a few days ago. And,
it was 9. It went to 9.
9?
Everybody.
Oh,
9.
I thought the low was 19.
No, it was 9. It was totally 9 degrees.
Well, I'm excited. We're going to talk about the Unicorn Squad. We're going to talk about the battle to breathe and the weaponized wife. I'm going to share with you, or Ashlee's going to share with you, the number one secret weapon you can use in 2023 to grow your net worth, to grow your company, to put your family into momentum. It's going to be awesome. Are you excited over there? Are you excited?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I'm excited. I thought you were talking to the people. I thought you were saying, people, are you excited? Are you excited? And I was like, yeah, I'm excited too. I am very excited. I'm excited for 2023. I actually didn't know what 2022 had in store. And so I didn't realize I was going to have to put my big girl panties on this year, but I did. It was amazing. And so I'm ready for 2023 like nobody's business. But if you would have told me like last year at this time, what my year was going to entail, I would have called you a liar.
It's been wild.
It has been wild.
Wild. I want to start things off with a super simple 4-step formula that anyone can use. It's easy to remember on how to crush it. Ready? You ready? You ready? There's 4 words, and this is why it's easy to remember. They all start with the letter D. I'll read them real quick, and then I'll explain them. First, you have to decide. Then you have to decree. Then you have to develop. Then you have to deploy. Okay? Decide, decree, develop, deploy. Decide, decree, develop, deploy. Now, part of this I got from my boy Riley Meek, so shout out to Riley. Hope you're doing well. Riley, he's been recovering from a surgery. He's done 9 figures, built a lot of companies, and he has this framework. He talks about all this cool stuff, and part of it is develop and deploy. And then I added the decide and decree. When I work with people, one of the things I notice is that they don't make real decisions, and us too, everybody. We pretend that we're making a decision. And one way you can tell if you're not making a real decision is if you use language like, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try that. You know, trying something is not the same thing as doing something. So a real decision means to cut off the other options, to raise the stakes for yourself. And for example, if you're going to lose weight, or you're going to reconnect your marriage, or you're going to make a certain amount of money, or you're going to hit a certain revenue number in your business, we have to decide that outcome is going to happen. We're cutting off other options. We're going to decide a real decision. Ash, have you ever made a half-hearted decision and then it doesn't work out?
Yeah. I think that was like the biggest problem of 2022 is there was one moment where I wasn't deciding and you were like, the reason you're in this conundrum is because you aren't deciding. You're not all in. You're like, maybe I will, maybe I won't. And so I had to decide to be all in.
Yeah, and the thing is with decision is you don't have to make perfect decisions, but we need to make a more larger quantity of total decisions. You know, there's this idea called decision velocity. And, you know, think about it like this. In the year 2023, let's say that you make 7 really important and correct decisions, okay? Wait, good job. High five for you. Okay, there's a little golf clap for you. But let's contrast that against someone that makes 153 decisions and only half of them are correct or good. And the other ones, not that great, right? You got to understand the 7 decisions from person A contrasted against, 75 correct decisions of person B. It's not about perfect decisions, it's about quantity of decisions. One of the ways you learn to trust yourself is by making more decisions because it creates a feedback loop for you. So when you're doing your business planning this year, think big, go for it, burn the boats, and go give it everything you got. Now, the other mistake I see people make with decisions is they make decisions that are put on them by other people, by society, by extended family, and you wind up building a business you don't even like, serving people you don't care for, or you're just making decisions in your life that weren't really from your own heart. You're just doing it because of pressure, right? This pressure put on to you by external forces. So the question is, what do you want? There's not a wrong answer to it. Maybe you don't want to grow the business this year. Maybe we need to have a down year on purpose, strategic pullback where you clean things up and you coast a little bit because maybe things at home are broken, for example. So you get to do the picking. You get to use your brain and use it for your picker, and it's going to be awesome. So remember, we have decide, decree, develop, deploy. The second part is decree. You have to call your shot. You have to proclaim the proclamation of what's going to happen for 2023 for you, okay? And some people get uncomfortable doing this because maybe it doesn't happen. Oh, I don't want to call my shot. I'm going to look stupid. What if I say I'm going to do it and I don't do it? Stop it. Stop it. You have to decree it. You have to make it real. You write it down. You can make it the screensaver of your phone, the screensaver on the desktop of your computer. You can print it out and put it where you brush your teeth in the morning. You can put it on the dashboard of your car. You can put it on a plaque in your office. You can write it in a letter and send it to your closest friends. Decreeing and calling your shot is really, really important because you're stating your intention to the world and to yourself. So if you make a decision and then you decree that decision, what can happen, Ashley?
Only amazingness. Well, only thing that could happen that would be bad is that you didn't make it, but you're on your goal to making it. And, we really believe in the decree, and God shows up in such amazing ways when you decree it. There's this thing in Costa Rica that we learned when they did the World Cup when we lived there. And they used to always do this thing, and they'd go, ole, 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 ole. And they would push up, and we're like, what are they doing? And they would give up their praise to God, and then they're pulling heaven down. I feel like that's what we do when we decree. We're pushing it up, but we're also pulling God down and saying hey, be with us when we do this. I'm giving it to you, but I'm also going to pull down the favor. I don't know.
Well, decreeing to me is about intention. There's a quote, it's attention follows intention. Your attention will follow your intention. But, you can't just keep it locked up in your head as a thought. We get lost in our own head. Business owners just overthink and over-strategize to infinitum, and nothing happens, right? We have to decree it and write it down.
Infinitum?
Infinity. Yeah, infinitum.
Is infinitum? I have to stop you there. Is that a word?
It's a thing.
That is the first time I've ever heard infinitum.
Sorry, I read
Sometimes
he
just gets this word butter juiciness, and I'm like, wait, hold up. And I get so fixated on the word. So sorry, I will let you all be, but infinitum is a new word for today. I'm going to try to use it 5 times.
Okay, we'll delete that word. The point is that we overthink, perpetually to our own detriment. If you made a real decision and you call your shot and proclaim it, here's the thing. It doesn't mean only magical things will happen. It rains on the just and the unjust alike. However, when you state your intention and you make it real, it's easier for you to show up like a different person for yourself. It's like making a bet on yourself. And you might, look, if you set your intention as 100 units of my expected outcome and you only achieve 83 of them, okay, you're not going to be mad at yourself because you're going to learn, you're going to grow, there's other value. Maybe you don't hit the goal, or maybe because you're pursuing this particular goal, another opportunity or idea reveals itself to you on the way to that goal, and so you switch and you pivot. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to, these decrees are like living, so you can tweak them and spit shine them and polish them and modify them. But we need something to aim at in the first place, because if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every single time. So we have decide, then we have decree, then we have develop. You have to build an actual plan. It doesn't have to be a perfect plan, but we need a real plan. Reverse engineer stuff. If you're going to build a house, don't you have a blueprint? If you're going to build your decreed goal, don't we need a blueprint? Yes, we need a blueprint. We need an architectural drawing. We need to understand, how to reverse engineer that and how the milestones break down. We have the macro goal and the micro goal and the nano goals and the daily behaviors and all this stuff. And it should create energy in you. And maybe you've never done this to this level. Maybe you're not sure what you even want. We can talk about that as well. But whatever you do decide and decree, you have to develop an actual plan. It can be with crayons, okay? I'm cool. Colored pencils maybe, construction paper. I'm good with it, but we need a real plan. We need spreadsheets and things, and maybe your formula is broken, and maybe you don't know how to make a plan. Make a crappy plan. Just make it exist. Make it real so you can have a rough draft 1.0 minimum viable plan. I always say minimum viable system, MVS. Maybe it's a minimum viable decreed decision or something, but you got to develop it and you got to spend time on that. It's like setting the stage for yourself to get ready for the last step, which is deploy. Deploy. We're only a few days away from 2023. I cannot believe it. I was born in 1981. I graduated high school in the year 2000, which shout out to my 2000 high school graduation class.
Wow,
Much
that's so
love, right?
crazy because I feel like
can't
I
believe
just
how old I
graduated.
am. I can't believe how time is
Don't
going
worry,
faster.
I
I'm sorry, what?
graduated in 2000 and
What?
I was just trying to make it so I sounded younger, so I wasn't graduating in 2000. But
I'm totally lost. What are you talking about?
you're just like outing ages here. We're just outing ages. I just don't love it. I just don't love it. It's not my favorite, but you know.
Okay. Anyway.
If we're outing ages, I was 5 in 2000.
You were 5?
Yep.
That helps. That helps me zero. That helps me zero. But anyways, we're deploying.
Will was born, I think.
I was
Jibby
just
Will
Killed the entire
was born.
momentum. You destroyed the entire momentum. of
Oh,
our
but
life.
we're just having-
completely nuked it.
No, I
So-
didn't. We're having fun. We're having fun.
So-
This is called fun.
The point is when you're deploying, you're running into the darkness, into the unknown, just like 2022 had a lot of unexpected things. You're just running. You're going. You have your imperfect, but clearly written, the best you could do at the time plan. You've called your shot, and you've made a decision that you're willing to suffer for this outcome. You're willing to do hard things to achieve whatever it is you're trying to do. Deployment is an ongoing thing. It's not fun. It's doing the hard things. It's a random Tuesday when you feel all alone and you get up and do it anyway. It's showing up when you don't want to. That's what deployment means. And you got to have stamina. You got to have some stamina, okay? It's easy to have a little extra stamina if you're surrounded by other people who are decreeing their things they want, and they're also developing and deploying. It gets easier. So there's my 4-step formula for 2023. But Ash, I want to switch back over to you. We're going to talk about the number one secret weapon that entrepreneurs can use in 2023 to help their business and their family at the same time. What do you got?
You already know that I have my answer, but I did feel a little offended because when you said the word develop, you're like, you can make your plan in blue crayon. That's literally what I did last year is I made it in blue crayon. That's how my idea for the Unicorn Squad was developed. But in blue crayon, like I have a picture of the proof of it. But the number one secret weapon that you could use as a small business owner or as any entrepreneur on the face of the earth is invest in your secret weapon. Your secret weapon is your entrepreneur wife. The entrepreneur wives are making a sexy up-level comeback. It's not a comeback because I don't think entrepreneur wives have ever been celebrated as much as they have in this year and in the next year coming. But I would have to throw it back to you, babe, and say, has it worked with us? I can't prove that there's an ROI, but there's been an ROI in our life since I have up-leveled and become a magical, mythical unicorn. And I know it's true in the Unicorn Squad. A lot of these businesses are having major growth. And I can't say specifically it's 100% the wives, but it doesn't hurt. Let me just tell you that. The wives are clapping and cheering, and they are, even when their companies are having a hard time, the women are rising up at a different level, and it's making a drastic difference in their business because of the level up. So it's just making business better, family better, marriages better. I don't know the exact stats, but on average, I would say our unicorns are having and our battlecorns are having more sex than they've ever had in their life, and their marriage is better. I don't know if that's correlated, but
Of course it's freaking correlated, right? So I don't have data on this either, but can you drive a car if you have flat tires? Can you drive your car if it's gasoline, but you put diesel in the tank? I think people underestimate the mental impact that having lack of momentum at home has on your ability to grow your company. I mean, duh. It's like trying to run a marathon with a weight around your neck. I mean, you always say that, the entrepreneur wife can either be the push or the pull. They can be the jet fuel or the jet lag, which I love, by the way. And it's totally
thank you.
true. So we've been married 20 years. We're total experts at that. No, I'm just kidding. But we've been married a long time. It's not been 2 seconds. And we were on the brink of losing everything relationship-wise at maybe the 7-year mark in our marriage, something like that. Mm-hmm. And it sucked, and it was awful. And it's really hard to show up because you got to understand, business is about how you feel. Myron Golden always says that, the goal isn't to do the thing, it's to feel like doing the thing. So if your goal is to grow the business, the goal isn't to grow the business. The goal is to facilitate an environment for yourself where you feel like conquering something, where you show up with like a fire in your belly. And your relationship at home and the relationship you have with your kids is a huge factor in the way that you feel. Unless you don't care, unless you're just a narcissistic, selfish person, then maybe you feel like crushing it even though your family is burning to the ground and drowning. But I digress, right? That's not who we're here to talk to. It's everybody else that you actually care. So finding a way to use systems and get your marriage and your family in momentum, not perfection, okay? Not perfection, but to have a plan for that. And to have a plan to get clear with your spouse, it catapults your business. Like literally, it's literal jet fuel, right?
Yeah.
And actually, Jared, can you hear me back there?
Yes.
I want Ashley to share just briefly about her Unicorn Squad framework, because I think it'll really help people and kind of the process an entrepreneur wife can go through to basically level up. And I had you load up the video file that shows it. Can you play that video clip and then Ash explain the Unicorn Squad framework for everybody at home? Woo, doggy.
Why am I getting so emotional? I worked really hard on that framework. My husband helped me develop a framework because frameworks are very important in your level up. But this framework actually, I think, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. It's very near and dear to my heart because it's literally the process that I went through on my level up. And it's actually a cycle. You don't just get to the Queen's Quest and you're all done. You go back through and then you level up at a different area. So the level up starts and then you just keep on going through that cycle. And the first thing is that you have to learn that you have to do hard things. Now, that doesn't mean that we do hard things in our first cycle of it being a unicorn, but we prepare ourselves to do hard things because as an entrepreneur wife, it's one of the hardest jobs in the universe. Also, I'm just claiming it. Is that okay, Josh? I just claimed it. Being an entrepreneur wife is one of the hardest things in the universe because we are the buffer between our entrepreneurs and normies. And so first it's that, and then we go to the future truth. Like, where are you? What's the truth of your life right now? What's your hope snapshot and your truth snapshot? Like, where are we going? Where are we at? How hard is your life? What's business look like? And then we go into the battle to breathe. The most fascinating thing I found out about entrepreneur wives is they're all running around trying to be superwoman and they don't take care of themselves. And so they were pouring from an empty cup. So if your wife comes home and she's Agatha Naggy Pants, it's probably because she's spent and needs a nap. I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and they'll tell me this whole story of all the things. I always say that they'll tell me that they want me to fix their wife. And then they'll like tell me all the things that their wife does. And I'm like, oh my gosh, your wife needs a nap. Like, your wife's a good person. She's probably just on her last rope, last button pushed, having a hard moment. And so the battle to breathe is where we get reconnected with who we are, with self-care, and we get our cup full. And then we do something that's every entrepreneur's favorite, and it's Wow Week. And that's one of the things that entrepreneurs love, Wow Week, because the entrepreneur wife, after a wife has her breath back in her body, that's the best way to put it. The battle to breathe is getting life put back into every cell of your being. Then you can show up differently. And the way that my unicorns and entrepreneur wives have been showing up and wowing their business, their family, their friends, and especially their entrepreneur has actually inspired me to even be a better wife and to wow. The next stage is weaponized wife. Like, what are the tools that your wife has? Like, what are the weapons and the skill sets and the mindsets and the network that she needs to weaponize herself to actually do the task at hand? You know, a lot of people think of, when they think of an entrepreneur wife, they think of a few different things. They think of either a starter wife, which is disposable, like Elon Musk, even Bill Gates. Although she is the richest starter wife I've ever met, is Bill Gates' wife and Bezos' wife. They're both starter wives, and they're both very wealthy. But there's starter wives and there's trophy wives, and then we also think of like Elena Cardone's. But that's not really the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is that there's entrepreneur wives that are stay-at-home moms, that are homeschool moms. Some of them do have their own business. Some of them are entrepreneurs. Some of them are working inside of the small business and are answering phone calls or washing blue towels. There's like all these different levels of what an entrepreneur wife is, and they all are unicorns. They all need to be celebrated, and they all can use extra weapons to weaponize weaponized wife. They can all have extra tools and resources to pull from, and that's what we learn in that part of the framework. And then the other part of the framework is castles and dreams. When I started talking to unicorns, I realized that a lot of them didn't have their own dreams. Most of their dreams were connected to their husband reaching their dreams. And they started to find out that they have some things inside of them that God has called them to do. They have a mission, a mandate, and a purpose, and that they have castles that they want to build. They have visions of changing the world. Now, some of them have dragons too. We all have dragons in our life that we need to slay. A lot of them, I will say most of them, are probably internal. Some of them are external, but a lot of them are internal, and they're dragons that we need to slay. Sorry, I've got like tears in my eyes, and so I have to like reset the room here. Sorry, reset my tears. And then we go on our Queen's Quest. What is it that your wife wants to do? What really makes her come alive? As I've been working with these women, I have been finding out I have leveled up in the last year more than probably all of them combined, because I've realized, A, I'm not alone. B, there's other people counting on me. And I am a resourceful person, and I can figure this out. And so the level up really happens on the inside, but then it shows up as a glow on the outside. And even the way I honor and love my husband has leveled up this year, because I've seen other women honor their husbands in certain ways or talk about certain things. And it's, or they'll even talk about something a little extra sexy, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll try that out. Why not? Let's do that. And so this level up journey has been just such a beautiful thing. And yesterday, can I tell a story?
Yeah.
Yesterday, I, one of the things that we do in the Unicorn Squad is we don't have any donkey talk, which a donkey is we don't have any of that talk. We can talk about issues, and we can talk about things that you're going through with your husband, but there's always got to be a solution at the end of it, or you have to be open to there being a solution. And one of the things that we say when we're in a hard time is, I am a unicorn. I am a unicorn. It's actually my power word for this year is I am a unicorn. When I'm put in a sticky situation, and normally I would either say a cuss word or like roll my eyes or do something, I chant, I am a unicorn. And so I've been chanting, I am a unicorn. And so yesterday, one of our sweet unicorns, Michelle, her flight got canceled, and they said, we can't reschedule it for 2 more days. I hope it's not Southwest. Michelle, please tell me if it's Southwest, because I'm flying out on Southwest on Sunday, because I had a great idea thinking that I was going to get 2 bags per person, which is 14 bags, which we don't need 14 bags, but I just wanted enough bags. So that's why I went with Southwest, but now Southwest is just closing down everything. So I'm hoping it's not Southwest, Michelle, please not. But anyways, she had to end up loading everybody in the car, and they're doing a road trip instead. And before she even said that, she goes, ladies, I am a unicorn. And then she told us this whole horrible story. And then at the end of it, she was like, but here's the great part. And I just love the community that we've built of ladies who clap and cheer, and in the hard moments, we're like, I see you. And it's been a beautiful picture. So I'm really excited to open it up. I'm getting it ready to open it up. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
That was a lot of stuff. You might want to go back and rewatch that. So recap the framework. You have future truth.
Well, first off, we
Battle to
start.
breathe.
Yep.
Wait, future truth, right?
Yeah. Yes, we technically start in the do hard things realm, but that's just like a preface to like the framework is the do hard
Can you
things
just
framework.
recap it real quick?
Yep, Future Truth, and then we do Battle to Breathe, Weaponized Wife, Castles and Dragons, and The Queen's Quest.
And how do people learn more about getting this content, getting the community?
Oh my goodness, they can learn to get in the content in the community at unicornsquad.com. Last week we posted that it was unicornsquad.com. Some of you went there and it was down because they're reviving it. So if for some reason you can't get on the waiting list, just go to unicornsquad.com later. But I think you should be able to do it right now. That's all I have to say about that. Some people didn't get it last week because we have somebody that's building it all out because we're getting ready to launch and I'm very excited. I'm going to host my first virtual event, which I've never done before. I've been like a guest speaker on a virtual event, but I've never hosted my own virtual event. So I'm really excited for that party. I did my first event this year by myself. That was a whole thing. That was in the name of Jesus. That was a thing.
Well, let's do a couple things. Let's do a recap of 2022 because it'll be hilarious, and I want to get Maverick's thoughts on a couple things, just for us. And then as you're watching this, think back through like what happened to you in 2022. What happened to you in 2022? We can make a rap song about that. More stuff than you think. And so let's say you did not hit your goal. Okay, I'm with you. But what did happen? Right? Sometimes we forget. We forget that tons of good things happen or lessons were learned or progress was made, right, along the journey. So let's recap our 2022 really quickly and tell me if I miss anything, Ashley, as we go through this. It started last year with the summit in Florida for the Conquer Summit. We did the summit, which was awesome. So we traveled, right? Ash, you with me? What are you doing over there?
I was just trying to see comments, and I'm sorry.
We started last year at the summit in Florida. That was how we kicked it out, and that's how we're going to the summit. Next week again. We did that, and then you decided you wanted to launch the Unicorn Squad because of the summit.
Because of the summit, a magical, mythical thing happened. I feel like a little weird saying this out loud, but okay, just y'all know me, right? So let's just can I just be me? So I emceed the event, and when I got off the stage, someone said, "I want to be in your program," and I said, "Oh, thank you so much. You're so kind. I don't have a program." She's like, "Whatever you have, I want it. There's something different about you. This is someone that I've known for a really long time," and so she's like, "There's something different about you, and I want it." And so when you start your program, you call me. And then I had 3 other ladies ask me that same thing. And so that's why I created the Unicorn Squad. And I tried it out and it worked. And it was amazing. And it was like the best thing that's ever happened in my life. Not the best thing. Forgive me,
You
Jesus.
hyperventilated and were freaking out and nervous. And
There was so much dry heaving. To all of the entrepreneurs, I am so sorry. I thought I understood the pain, the pressure, the loneliness. I thought I understood. I had no freaking idea until I'm like dry heaving under the desk crying. And my husband's like, "Hey, remember all those people that wanted your thing? Like you're going to message them and say, 'Hey, I have a thing.'" And I was like, "I can't do it." And I was like dry heaving. He like drove me around for I literally cried and dry heaved for 2 hours. Like, y'all, it was so bad. And then it worked. And my close rate was better than my husband's close. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. My husband's close rate isn't as good as Ashley Latimer's, but literally the reason the Unicorn Squad was so successful has nothing to do with me. It has to do with Jesus and Josh. Jesus and Josh, everybody, because homeboy was like my personal Yoda, my little Yoda that I had a little pocket Yoda, and he was like, "Do this, do this, do this."
So we did the summit.
Oh yeah, sorry.
And thanks for calling me a pocket Yoda. It's freaking hilarious and amazing. We did the summit. You created and launched your first business, the Unicorn Squad.
I did.
Then shortly after that, if my timeline's correct, you can fill in any gaps. Russell Brunson sent me a Voxer message and was like, "Josh, how did I not hear about this Kid War Plan? This is the coolest thing ever. Oh my gosh." Kid War Plan is this 90-day journal that teaches kids entrepreneurship. We sell it on the internet at kidwarplan.com. Anyway, so we did this as a family project to teach our kids entrepreneurship. The kids box them up and ship them. It's a whole thing. And we've sold them like all over the world. Like it's insane. So I get this message from Russell. He's like, "I want to buy 1,000 of them." He actually bought 1,100 of them. It's $100 book Okay, they're like expensive because they're handmade.
There's
And
a-
that was amazing. He
And-
like saw an ad, and then he asked us to speak too.
Yeah, he asked us to speak, and what's even amazing about this is marketing. Actually, there are different channels of marketing that you can do, and he did see our ad. But another thing is when he brought it to his team, there's a guy named Robbie Summers who works with him in the sales department, and what had happened is that in a mastermind in March, I took Russell a war plan, and it was a Fabio. It was one of the sexiest war plans we've ever seen, because there's different levels of war plans. I'm sorry, but there are some that just come out and they're freaking sexy. We call those the Fabios. And I gave that to, it was supposed to be for Russell, but I gave it to Robbie, and I said, Robbie, this one actually was for Russell, but I want to give it to you. And he brought that up in the meeting when he was like, hey, I have this idea. And Robbie was like, oh, yeah, I got yours. So there's all these different levels of marketing that you might not ever know. They're little touch connection points. But yeah, we got to speak at Unlock the Secrets. It was amazing. And what happened from there?
We gave out 1,000 Do Hard Things T-shirts, which was pretty cool. And we still see them on the internet from different people that, we're connected to wearing them, which is awesome because that's our family slogan. We also, like you said, we had a mastermind in Cancun. We've done 2 this year in Cancun, 1 in Salt Lake City. The mastermind I went to in Salt Lake City was for the collective. And
Tell them about how you...
I got attacked by like some drug-fueled crazy guy on the street. He almost attacked me. We went and did axe throwing, and then I was leaving to go back to the hotel, walking down the sidewalk. This crazy guy comes hopping down the sidewalk saying, I'm going to kill you. And he's like running at me, and so I like panic, and I start running across the street. And he goes another way, and the cops
And
got him.
Everybody saw you.
Yeah,
they
everyone.
said-
in the
There's
axe
video
throwing-
somewhere for sure. There's video of it. I've seen the video, so there is video of it.
It was weird. It was very weird.
It was so strange.
Glad I didn't get shanked that day. Thankful for that. So shout out to 2022, the non-shank year. Although we got a few days left. I'm going to.
I hope we don't get
safe.
shanked before
We'll
then.
play
Yeah.
it safe the last few days. After that, we kind of turned our attention to Warplane Studios, which is where we're at right now. Warplane Freaking Studios. We got Jibby Will over here. We got Jarrett and Sean. We got the whole team. Maverick running the switcher. We're still figuring out what we're going to do when we grow up at Warplane Studios, but that was the
No.
beginning of it, right? We had tons of different service companies come down here and make little viral videos and ad videos and all kinds of cool videos, and we built systems and processes for that. But that was an unexpected, awesome thing this year.
It was a total unexpected awesome thing. And we've also, we did it for the service company. And then now we're like learning how to batch all social media and social content. And we've had virtual events here. We've had live events here. We've done all the things here. And we might even switch the model even a little bit more so that it can be a private, exclusive kind of like a timeshare where you kind of like, yeah, that's maybe for later, but we're really excited about all the things that we've been creating here and learning to do.
Yep, and then going into the summer, I took my son Tucker to Alaska for a week with his grandfathers, and that was incredible and amazing. It's a gift. I'm going to go to Iceland this next year with Sawyer. That was really special. And while I was in Alaska, I made one Facebook post about recession marketing, and it got like 800 comments on it. You can like scroll down my Facebook and find it. Because people are talking about the recession and the coming recession and the slowdown, and it's real. By the way, it's coming, okay? Okay, buckle up, okay? There's economic realities. There's massive opportunity in it. But, people were messaging me, asking me about this. So I said, hey, I'm going to put together this free training, blah, blah, blah. People responded like crazy. I did 5 weeks of just serving my face off in this little free Facebook group called Recession Marketing, and just gave and gave and gave. Ended up launching a whole program around this called War Plan Insiders, which at the beginning of 2022, I didn't even have a thought in my brain that would exist. It was a $5,000 program. We had almost 70 people sign up for that. Been working with them. That was an unexpected gift. It's been amazing. It's been really hard. It's been a lot of work. That's been really awesome to launch that, talking about marketing.
And just a cool community of
It's
people.
awesome.
Like these people are so awesome. And it's like amazing to have 70 people that are just on fire for marketing, trying different things, sharing their stories. Like they're not just takers, they're givers too. And their ideas, they're awesome. They are awesome. I've got to be on a few of the calls and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's been awesome. My core competency is probably marketing. There's a few things that I think I'm really, really good at, but marketing specifically, how to make a lot more money by making small changes is what I love to talk about the most.
You're really good
I've
at
done more private consulting this year than I ever have before. High ticket private, helping people, go from 5 million to 8 million, going from this to this. That's been awesome. I won't get into details on that, but
You also been helping train the Warplant insiders on. A lot of them are going into the info business because service industry, like that's the new move, is
Yep.
going into the info business and taking your expertise and making it so it's on the internet and all those
that's
amazing
true.
things.
There's a reason a lot of the people you look up to in the home service space specifically, they get to a certain level and they sell their company. It's like, why'd you sell if it's so great? It's because, there's an argument to be made that it's not that great. It depends on what you want, what you're trying to do, and what the end game is. But there are better business models. You can work on the internet, and there's other things to learn. But I've been talking and teaching more about that stuff and how do you monetize your expertise, because you are an expert at something. Everybody's an expert at something. But we won't get distracted and get into that. It's a whole rabbit
Wait,
hole. It's a whole rabbit hole.
I want to tell one thing. I did not know. Like Mike Wainwright, when he does the grill cleaning, y'all, he teaches people that to get their grills clean and teaches people how to. I did not know that lots of rats pee and poop in your grill, and it's made me. I want to clean my grill every day for the rest of my life before I cook. And he was just telling about these horror stories, and I was like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to know about this grill cleaning thing. It's disgusting. That's disgusting, everybody. Who knew about this? Keep going. I am so sorry.
Maverick also, has been interviewed and been on podcasts. He's spoken on stages. He's given presentations, which has been insane. And there's a whole bunch more on the list, but I feel like it's taking too long.
We also
moral
had
of the
pain
story-
and
The moral
suffering.
of the story is that a lot of things that we could have never anticipated happened in 2022, both good and both bad. And so I wanted to talk about maybe lessons that we've learned. So when you look back at your 2022, what might have looked like a mess might be setting you up for a message. What might have looked like a setback might be a set up for you. I don't know, but there's value even in adversity. There's value in the bad things if you can reframe your brain to see it that way. So I think it's useful before the new year to just think back, right? Because, you are who you are because of the things that have happened to you internally and externally. And hopefully you're becoming a better version of yourself, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if your bank account doesn't show it. There's a lot of internal things that have to happen first. And so whether it's employee issues or, wasted money on this marketing thing, or the business was just hard, whatever it was, try to extract the value and the good from it. But I want to start with, I don't know, we can start with Maverick because we haven't heard from Maverick yet. Maverick gave me a little list of things he's learned. I'll just briefly read them, and then you can comment on it, Maverick, for a few minutes. Mav said he learned how to serve people in 2022. He learned soft skills and what soft skills are. Broken people, how broken people are, and the world needs help. Marketing is everything, and events are inspiring. He's been to a bunch of different events. Maverick, what are you thinking?
Well, let's be honest. The past, since COVID till now, it's felt like one big year all mashed together. It's been a huge thing. And to be honest, when you just listed all the things, it was like, dang, we've done so much. I can't believe that we've done all of this in such a short amount of time, and it's been really awesome. And I think one of the biggest things for me was Young Life Camp, where I got to go serve tons of kids and serve God. And my job was to serve food, actually serve. And that helped me learn more about soft skills, talking to strangers, talking to people who, to be honest, some of them were sketchy because they're all people who really needed God and were struggling. And by the first day into the last day, I literally saw a change just from serving them food. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They'd come in for breakfast first day. They all were skeptical. They're like, what is this God thing? What is this place? These people are weird. They're nuts, because we're all so enthusiastic. And then on the last day, they're coming in, they're screaming, they're yelling, they're having fun. And it was life-changing, because we saw how broken and how depressed they were. And then by the end of it, they were so happy. And then they were all they were crying because they didn't want to leave, and that they made such good friends. And that's probably the hardest part about the whole camp experience, is that it has to end.
So good.
Back to reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Yeah, you've done a lot this year, and you're working on a course called Epic Life Skills. So, by the way, give us an update on how far away you are from being done with that. Was it about 60 different teachings, practical things kids can do to live a more epic life? Briefly explain that and where you're at in the time frame of that. We didn't talk about that, but how much more do you have to go, man?
To be honest, we keep setting goals, and then like stuff keeps getting thrown in, so it's taken a while, but when it gets done, it's gonna get done. It's definitely gonna get done next month. Like that's when it's gonna be released. Next month, it's gonna be out. I don't know exactly when next month is the release date. We're still figuring that out because we still have a few more videos to produce. We got to review them, but overall, it's gonna be awesome and epic, and it's gonna get done pretty quick. I mean, actually, we're leaving to go to another event like next week. So I don't know how far that'll set us back with the course, me and my brothers, but probably not that much. So we're looking forward to it. Next few weeks, we're excited.
Awesome. That's good. Thanks for sharing. You're so good, man. We're so proud of you. You're awesome.
I'm proud of you too.
I'm gonna ask. Thanks, man. I'm gonna ask Jarrett and Jimmy Will too what they learned in 2022. But first, Ash, you wrote down before we went live here. I asked you what your lessons were.
Oh gosh,
You said blessing bash. Events, frameworks are crucial. Go for it. Trust Jesus. The level up is worth it. And then I think I can't read my handwriting here. Messaging, maybe. I'm not sure.
that was messaging.
So
Yeah,
recap what you learned in 2022.
man, I'm gonna cry. Pass. No, I'm just kidding. 2022 probably was, when you grow. I don't know if you've ever had growing pains. It was really painful, actually. I've won an award. I got to speak on stages. I got to create this thing. I have this beautiful thing with the Unicorn Squad, like best friends for life kind of thing. But it was really tough, and but it was worth it. But one thing that I learned is that your framework is really crucial, because the things that the framework, when we kind of slide off of it, you can circle back and go back on the framework, and then you can kind of maintain balance. I don't even believe in balance, but I feel like if there's anything that can help maintain your sanity and your balance, is frameworks. Learning about how messaging is so important. Like the things that I say are really important to inspire other entrepreneur wives. And sometimes I say things that are completely redonkulous, but hopefully my messaging can get through even my redonkulous, quirky Ashley-isms. But trying to be the calling card for entrepreneur wives to inspire them to get off their bathroom floor is what gets me up in the morning. And it's just been a really good year, but really hard. Trying to really pinpoint, can I just be honest for a second? I think I already am honest as I'm crying, but when you tell people, hey, I'm going to teach you how to be a great entrepreneur wife. It's really hard. I felt imposter syndrome, because there'd be times where I wanted to roll my eyes and claw my husband's eyeballs out because he was being so annoying and extra. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a fraud. What the heck's wrong with me? I can't be the leader of the unicorns because I hate your face right now. I love it, but I hate it. And I want to lick it still, but you know what? It's annoying my face, and I just want you to, I can't smell you right now. I smell you. And so I was doing all this internal stuff, or like we'd get in a fight and I'm like, oh, that's it. Can't be leader of the unicorns. But now I'm learning to use my mess and turn it into my message. So that's what it means with my framework and my messaging, is that I've learned that everything that comes up against me, it doesn't disqualify me. It actually qualifies me more if I can grab a hold of it and rein it in, because sometimes women need to be reined in, everybody, or entrepreneur wives, we need to rein our crap in, so that we can win and up level. So I've learned a lot. Did I cover everything? Because
I think so.
I don't know if I covered everything, but it was hard. It's awesome. It's all the things.
Basically, it's hard, but it's worth it, right?
Yes. And there are days that you do not feel like it's worth it. And so you look at your shirt that says do hard things and you're like, well, doing hard things really sucks right now. I hate this. But then you're like, okay, but I'm helping lives. Like every time I'd have a moment where I'm like, I quit. I hate this. This is too hard. I don't want to do any hard things. I just want to lay on the couch and eat cookie dough and watch Netflix and just give up. I'd get a message that would say, Ashley, I'm having a hard time with this. Or you really inspired me with this. I'm like, oh gosh, put on your freaking big girl panties and do hard things.
So it doesn't matter how hard it is. It only matters if it's worth it. Jarrett, I don't know if you thought about the question, what you've learned in 2022. You ready to add something to this conversation?
Yeah, so it's funny. I don't remember who I was telling. I think I was telling Will, or no, actually, so I have this message that I send to a couple of people every Monday. And, well, today's Tuesday. But at the very beginning of the year, I always usually have a word for the year. And the word for this year was accelerate. And I haven't stopped accelerating since the beginning of the year. And I didn't really know what that meant. I didn't know anything about what it was going to be like. And then I literally remember, like, in February, I got a phone call from Josh Fierstein, and he was like, hey, can you come look at some lighting for me? And I had just met him in December of the year before. And here we are, I think 9 months later, and we have a whole studio, and we're doing all of the crazy things. Got Sean here. Sean was with me in the beginning. Will's been here. Like, it's so crazy. Like, nothing, I never would have expected anything that's happened this year. But I think definitely, like, learned a lot about business, learned a lot about doing hard things. Doing hard things for sure. There's been a lot of hard things that have had to happen, and a lot of, like, hard conversations that have had to happen, and just all of the things that I hadn't really done a ton of before. I started a podcast with Sean. That was strange because I hate being in front of the camera, and it's actually, like, the amount of people that have said that they've, like, really enjoyed it and, like, been inspired by it has, like, blown my mind, because I'm like, what, you know, I'll just record you. I don't need to be in front of the camera. And it's been really cool to kind of see. But yeah, I would say that stepping out of my comfort zone and accelerating this year, I think, has been my two biggest things.
Oh, that's really good. I'm about to sneeze, so bad timing for woo. But yeah, stepping outside of your comfort zone is it's allergies, people. Texas, that's the one thing I have against you. Allergies are out of control in this state.
That's
It's
the
driving me
one thing
crazy.
you have against Texas?
No, I have more than one
I
thing.
have a few other things.
But,
I have a few grievances.
Jimmy, Will, let's go to you. What did you learn in 2022?
Yeah, so piggybacking off of Jarrett a little bit, towards the beginning of 2022, whenever I came on staff here at Warplan, I didn't even realize that was, like, setting me in motion for my ability to handle, like, my capacity just went to another level, because it was a thing where, like, I'd get really overwhelmed with a lot of things, and through social media and through just the editing process and all of that, I've noticed my capacity is, like, yeah, I can do that. Like, yeah, I can handle another thing. Yeah, I can do, and it just keeps going. And I've noticed
Just
that that's
leveling
been,
up.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah,
It's the
he
year of
has.
the level up.
I would have never guessed that about Will. I would have never thought that, like, things overwhelm him, because, like, y'all, he has to deal with me, and his ears, I think, bleed sometimes because he's single and not married, and sometimes I talk about all the things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to get him therapy because his ears might be bleeding because he's got to listen to all the entrepreneur wife things, but he handles it with such grace, and so I would have never guessed that. So that's really inspiring, very inspiring.
Super inspiring. I don't know if Sean wants to chime in back there. We keep leaving Sean out. Sean's a critical component to our team here, but he doesn't have a mic when we do this show. Sean, you got any words of wisdom? You can use Jarrett's mic.
Yeah, we are actually setting up a second mic, so super exciting. But no, definitely this year, I'm right there along with Will and Jarrett. Just the combination of the growth that we've had at the studio itself. Obviously, outside of this, there's been a lot of personal growth as well. But one of the biggest things is discovering yourself within the process. Sometimes the process has so much going on all at the same time that you kind of lose yourself. You kind of lose focus of the goal, the mindset, the end goal. And so at the end of the day, you have to continue to remind yourself that everything is happening for a reason. And there's a reason why everything is falling in place the way that it is at the time that it's happening. And so with the people that have come into the studio and the connections that we've made in the short period of time. It's like we've been here for years versus just a couple of months. And I think that's the most incredible thing, is discovering who we are as a team here at the studio more than anything. And so that's kind of been my highlight of this year. So I'm excited for 2023 because we have big things coming. That's for sure.
Yes. Do you think that studio years are like dog years? It's like
Oh.
every year in a studio, it's like 7. I mean, literally, it doesn't even, like, now that we're saying this, it's like, how did we do all the things? Like, all the different people that we've had come through this door from all over. Like, it's so fascinating. It's just fascinating. Oh my gosh. Studio years.
Well, I feel like everything we've done has been pre-game, and we didn't even start yet. What do you feel like for your company or your goal, your vision, or whatever you do? Maybe you're a realtor, maybe you're an accountant. I don't know what you do. But have you ever thought that maybe everything you've done so far was just setting the stage for what's about to happen next? You ever think about that? You ever think about, look at me in my good eye, right here, this one. This one.
Wait, is that your good eye?
That's my good eye.
I always look in the other one. Shoot, dang. Man, didn't know.
It could be the case, though. You know, I don't think people understand how much potential you have. You are capable of far more than you think. Just like Jibby Will over here, who's off camera, realized his capacity was greater than he previously thought. You know, it stands to reason that your capacity is greater than you think. And the world needs you. It needs you to show up. It needs you to decide. It needs you to decree. It needs you to develop. And it needs you to deploy into the world. Now, you're allowed to rest up. We got a few days. This is kind of like a senioritis time of year where you can kind of chill, eat a couple bonbons if you want to. I'm not saying do that, but you could if you wanted to. But you gotta get ready. You gotta stretch out so you don't pull a hammy when you run towards and you deploy yourself towards your goals next year. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here clapping and cheering for you. We are here for entrepreneur families who want to change the world. We believe that, we believe in, God, family, country, and capitalism. We think small business owners are the most important people in the world because you're the backbone of the economy. A lot of y'all are mentors to your employees. How many, fatherless people end up working for a home service company? And you think they're there as an employee, but you wind up changing their life, changing the trajectory of their life. You need to have a healthy business, financially, emotionally, and everything else. So those are my thoughts. We can get ready to land the plane, Ash. I'll have, maybe we'll have Jarrett close us out in prayer today. We'll mix it up.
You didn't
What are
fully
your,
ask
what are your
these.
final thoughts before we go?
Oh man, I think I'm a mushball in 2022. So hopefully 2023, my final thoughts are, I like what Will said about capacity. Like, because I think a lot of people have a lot more capacity than they think they do. And this might be your year to do hard things, not just for yourself, but for your family, for your marriage, and for your business, and for your community. And your entrepreneur wife is probably your secret weapon that's sleeping in the bed next to you. And I think you should invest in her because once you remove a Nagatha Nagy Pants, which I was a Nagatha Nagy Pants, things get a lot easier in your business, marriage, and family life. So invest in your wife. Take her out on date night. It's not rocket science, everybody. Take her out on date night. Fill her bucket. She's probably pouring from a very empty cup. And so this is the year to invest in up-level and entrepreneur wives.
And some bad news, unicornsquad.com is down. It's not
Are
working
you
at all.
serious?
It
No.
is.
Totally broken. Doesn't work at all, but that's okay.
See?
We
Coming soon.
Coming soon. You know what? It's just anticipation. We can use this as a marketing spin because it was up, and then the 2 days it's down are the days that I talk about it. What the heck? Just building anticipation. We'll just use this as a marketing. It's just marketing. It might be. My secret Yoda over there might be just pulling it down just to make me crazy.
I'm hearing an idea for some future merch. I think we need to have like a micro Yoda or a secret Yoda with Josh's head on it.
Yeah.
We'll sell
I like
dozens
that.
of them.
I
Totally.
didn't tell you. I didn't say the most important thing about what the Unicorn Squad is adding this year.
Okay, go
We're
ahead.
adding things to the Unicorn Squad this year that's magical and mythical and all the things. We added a battle corn training. And a battle corn is an entrepreneur. It's someone who's married to, it's a battle corn, right? Battle corn. And my husband has developed this training for entrepreneurs on how to pull out the best stuff for your entrepreneur wife, how to level up for her so that you win. I mean, it's like, it's shut up. It's just shut up awesome.
You can't expect a queen to act like a queen if you're not acting like a king.
Oh, wow.
Got to show up. So, lots of good stuff coming. So, in conclusion, Jarrett, do you want to bring us home? Put you on the spot. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. My brain is empty. I think I would say that the craziest thing though is kind of what Ashley was piggybacking off of Will, is that capacity, I think this year, and not even just for us here, but I mean, I think even across the board as business owners, coming out of COVID, coming out of all of the things, is learning that people have way bigger of a capacity than they actually thought they had. I know that for me personally, that happened with, just like everything in life, and then also doing here, like there's so many different things that are happening all at once. And then like understanding that it's okay to, like taking time to rest is the ultimate form of faith, is one thing that's a nugget for you. Rest is the ultimate form of faith. Ooh. And I think that I've learned that, but having more rest makes my capacity a lot higher.
Yeah.
So that's been a good
gold.
thing.
I love that. Do you want to pray us out, Jarrett?
Sure. Let me make sure that the music is perfect.
I love that. I love when the music
That's
is
great.
perfect.
It's fun because I get to always turn on the music, just like amp it up and go with Ashley and just kind of listen. I'm telling you, I'm a musician that just can't play, but I am a musician. Anyways, dear Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for dying on the cross for us. Thank you for bringing us through 2022. We're almost there. We're almost done, and it's been an amazing year. I look back at all of the different things that we've accomplished and achieved, and all of the relationships that we've built. All of the friendships, all of the community that's been built, all of the things we've learned, and I'm just grateful. And I think that that's something that towards the end of the year we get to look back at, and we get to realize that there's so many obstacles that were in our way, so many challenges that we faced, but through it all, that God was still there with us. And I think that next year, like Josh was saying, next year is just the start. This is just the start. What we're doing next year is going to be a catapult into what our next is, what our best is. It's just the beginning, and I'm excited. And I know that I'm excited with all the people that are around me, and I'm excited with the relationships that we're going to build next year. Like if it's anything like what this last year was like, next year's going to be absolutely insane. Thank you for all of the opportunities that we've had. Thank you for all the relationships that we've built. Thank you for all of the naggy pants that have been in the lives of all of us, that have taught us how to stretch and expand our capacity even more. Thank you for dying on the cross for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next time. Bye.